Good afternoon, and welcome to the Keele University third and final visa webinar. My name's Hugo. I work in the international recruitment team, and I'm joined today by my colleague Beth from Immigration Compliance. We're going to be talking to you today about the process for you getting your visa, getting firmly accepted by Keele before you do so, any tips and tricks that we can give you to make the process easier, anything to watch out for. We will be giving general advice. If you have a specific question, you can get in touch privately, and you can ask questions in the chat below. Would you like to tell yourself a bit about us, a bit about your team, and
yeah, sure.
Maybe other faces they might have seen?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Hugo. So yeah, we're Immigration Compliance and Advice here at Keele University, and we will be the ones issuing your CAS. But once you're here at Keele, we'll also be your advisors. So if you want to talk about settling down, life in the UK, any questions you've got about your current visa or the graduate route once you're getting close towards the end of your course, then you can come and talk to my team about that.
That's great, thank you. So we will get quickly into some of the questions that you guys might have. So for most of our applicants watching, they will have paid their tuition fee deposit. For postgraduate students, the deposit deadline was yesterday, but if they are still perhaps expecting the money to come in the next couple of days, that will be okay. For undergraduate students, they have a couple more weeks. So do you want to just talk them through how they might go about paying their deposit?
Oh, yeah. Well, what I would say is, even though undergraduates, you have got another 2 weeks, just pay it as soon as possible, because it will take a couple of days to get into the university's account. Once it's there, then we can start the CAS process. We can't start that until you've paid the deposit. So I would just say do it as soon as possible. If you visit our website and type in pay tuition fees into the search bar, you'll find a link that you can log in as an applicant with your student number and your date of birth, and you can pay online there. And I think there is an option for Flywire as well, but that's all explained on the website. So yeah, just do that as soon as possible so that we can get started with the next step in the process.
Excellent, thank you. If an applicant is being financially sponsored, obviously this will likely have been put in place already, but is there anything they need to do differently about this sort of time?
Well, if you've got an official financial sponsor, which would be your home government, an international company, a university, something like that, then you don't have to pay the deposit, but you will have to provide written confirmation from your official financial sponsor that they will be covering the entire cost of your tuition fees, and whether or not that will include any maintenance funds as well. So you'll be asked to send that into the team so that we can add it to your file.
Excellent, thank you. So, after an applicant has paid their deposit, what's the next step?
So once you've paid your deposit and you've met all your other offer conditions as well, you've provided all your academic documents and anything else that the admissions team have asked for, then you'll be sent a pre-CAS checklist. CAS is your confirmation of acceptance of study, and this is the document that you need in order to apply for your student visa with UKVI. It's important that you check the pre-CAS document really carefully, because once we've issued that CAS, it's very difficult for us to make changes. So make sure you check that all your names are spelt correctly and they're in the right order. Check we've got your passport number right. Check we've got all your course details right. And then you'll send that back to us, either confirming that it's all correct or letting us know that there's some amendments to be made. And at the same time, we ask you to include your financial documents. So this will be probably a bank statement, or perhaps a loan letter, or as Hugo mentioned before, perhaps you're being officially you're being officially financially sponsored, whatever document it is, because you will have to prove your finances to UKVI unless you're from certain nationalities benefit from a differentiation agreement, which means that they won't necessarily have to provide documents. But most of you will have to provide evidence of your finances. So you'll send that back in with your pre-CAS checklist. Someone from my team will then check your finances. We'll be looking to make sure that you've got the right amount of money, that you've been holding it for an appropriate length of time, and that the account belongs to either you or your parent or guardian.
That's great, thank you. Do they need to provide a TB test at this stage, or is that later on?
Yeah, if you do come from a nationality that requires you to take a TB test, you'll be asked to submit that along with your financial documents at this point as well. And if you've already sorted out your accommodation in the UK, or you're thinking about where you want to go, you can include details of that as well, so that we can add that.
Lovely, thank you. So, obviously you mentioned a bit about the financial evidence that students need to provide. Could you sort of go into that in a bit more detail, please?
Yeah, of course. So most students provide a bank statement. So you must have the correct amount of tuition fees, which we can show you the calculation now. It's your tuition fees minus any deposit you've already paid or any fees you've already paid to the university, minus any scholarship you've been awarded. But then you've got to add on money for your maintenance funds. So you should look something like this. And you need to have held these funds for at least 28 days consecutively without the balance having dropped below that minimum threshold. If there's any large deposits in there, we might come back to you and ask you some extra questions, just because we're preparing you for any questions that UKVI might be asking you. So please make sure that you're prepared for that, and you could evidence, maybe you've sold your car to help pay for your studies. We might ask just for a bit more information about that. The bank statement must also be recent. So you can only use it for 31 days after the closing balance for your visa application. So make sure that you've only just got it, basically, so that it's got plenty of time left. You can use a fixed deposit, but I would also recommend, if you are using a fixed deposit, to get a letter from your bank confirming how long you've held the fixed deposit for, and that the funds are easily accessible and there's no wait period on there. If the bank account is yours, then that would be all you'd need to provide. If the bank account belongs to one or both of your parents or a guardian, then you would also need to provide your birth certificate so that we can see the relationship with your parent, or guardian would have like a legal document to say that they're your guardian. And also they would need to provide a letter of consent confirming that they are giving you permission to use their money for your university studies in the UK. You can find a template for that letter on our website. What else might people might provide a loan letter. If you have got an educational loan, and it must be specifically an educational loan, then you should have a loan sanction letter that will confirm your details. It will have the details of your course and how much money the bank or financial institution is lending to you as part of the loan scheme. They're the most common financial evidences that we receive.
Lovely, thank you. And what should a student do if during this process they're asked for a credibility interview?
Okay, so the first thing would be don't panic. Although it sounds scary, it is really just an informal chat with a member of my team. We'll usually do this via Microsoft Teams, or maybe we'll do it via phone call if that's more convenient. But we'll just want to chat to you about the reasons for choosing Keele University, what other universities you've researched, maybe a little bit about your travel history and how you're planning to pay for your course. The purpose of this is just because UKVI also conduct credibility interviews. So we pick students out at random who we will interview, and then we'll give you some feedback and move on to the next part of the process.
That's great, thank you. Once a student's sent back their checklist and all their documents, how quickly can they expect their CAS to arrive?
So we'll obviously have to check your financial documents. If they're all good to go and we're happy with them, you should get your CAS within a couple of days, if not sooner. So yeah, you haven't got long to wait really. If there is something with your bank statement that we're questioning, or we want a little bit more information, then obviously that's going to delay it a little bit, but we'll always try and get back to you as soon as possible.
That's great. And if you do have any extra questions or any more information you need, how will you get in touch with the student?
So we'll always use the email address that you've provided in your application.
Okay, that's great, thank you. So, when an applicant has received their CAS, how do they go about submitting their visa application?
Okay, yeah, so the application is all online. You will create an account on the UKVI website, and the first lot of questions are your personal details, a little bit about your family history. I think it asks your parents' names and things like that. Then the second part we get on to is about your course. All the information that you need for this part of the application form you can find in your CAS. So it's got the level of your course, it's got the exact name of your course, and it's got the duration of your course, i.e. start dates and end dates. Yeah, so all the information you need should be in your CAS. If you do have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with the team. You can email us or you can call us. All our details are online and will be put on this webinar at the end. Once you've filled in the application form, you will be asked to make a declaration that all the information is accurate. And after that point, you can't go back and change any of your answers. So please make sure you check it really carefully. Once you've done that, you will be asked to pay for the application, which is £490, and then you'll be asked to pay for the immigration health surcharge. The cost of that depends on the length of your course. So UKVI work this out in 6 monthly blocks, but they charge £776 per year. So depending on the length of your course, depends on how much you'll have to pay for the immigration health surcharge. Once you've done that, you'll then be directed to book an appointment at a visa application centre to give you biometrics, which is your fingerprints, and have your photograph taken. To that appointment, you'll need to take your passport. I would recommend you take the documents you uploaded as part of your application as well, such as your academic certificates, your English, TB test, things like that. Anything that you have uploaded as part of your application, take with you to the application centre just in case. But you'll definitely need your passport. Once you've done that, you just need to sit back and wait to get the outcome of your visa application. And then please let us know. Once you've got a decision, please tell the visa immigration and advice team so that we can update our records and we'll know to expect you.
Excellent, thank you. Now we've got a code on the screen there. Could you, talk about?
So there will be a place in the application form for you to select an alternative collection location for your BRP. That's your visa, the little plastic card that you're going to get to prove your permission to be in the UK. If you use this code that's on the screen now, your BRP will be delivered to Keele University and it will make your life quite a lot easier. If you forget to put this code in or you miss the question, it's not too big of a deal, but you will have to go to a local post office, which will be on a bus or in a taxi, to go and collect your BRP from there. You'll need to do that before you come to see us for enrolment. If you use the ACL code and the BRP gets delivered here, then we will give you your BRP when you come to enrol. So it just make the process a little bit quicker and easier for you. That's
lovely, thank you. So Are there any common problems that people encounter when applying for a visa?
I would say financial documents being too old, so they've expired, or maybe your currency has dropped in value. So by the time you come to submit your application, your bank statement is not actually worth as much as it was. So I would always recommend try and have a little bit extra as a buffer so that that doesn't happen to you, because they will reject if it's below the minimum threshold. Or you could pay a little bit extra towards your tuition fees so that we can declare that on the CAS. Even if you pay extra after we've issued your CAS, we can update that with UKVI so that they can take that into consideration when checking your finances. So if you do that, just let us know so we can update your CAS. Another common thing is if you do get a call for credibility interview and you can't tell UKVI why it is you want to come to Keele specifically, then that might be a problem. So make sure you've done plenty of research and don't get nervous about it. Just tell them why it is you want to come here. Yeah, I'd say they're the main problems people have.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. So when a student has got their visa, they're coming to the UK, is there anything that we can help with sort of in that intermediate period before they arrive?
Yeah, definitely. Well, there is a pre-departure webinar tomorrow, which I think offer holders will have been invited to. We are arranging some airport pickups. So if you could arrange your flight to Manchester or Heathrow on certain dates, which are on the website. I think Manchester is 19th, 20th and 21st of September. And I think Heathrow is just the 19th. Or possibly the 19th and the 20th, but check the website. If you arrive during certain times on those dates, then we can pick you up for free. You just need to register your interest online and we'll be in touch. So that'll be a good way to get to campus and also good way to meet some new friends on the bus on the way here. Once you are here, however you get here, we are here to give you any advice and guidance you might need. We've got teams who can help you with budgeting. We've got teams who can help you with settling into academic life and how British education might be different to what you're used to. Yeah, lots of things we can help you with. We'll be arranging plenty of events and socials for you when you get here so that you can meet new friends and meet the staff who are going to be helping you while you're here. And if you've got any specific questions, please just get in touch with us and we'll try our best to help you out and answer your questions.
That's great. So how, when they arrive, do students go about enrolment? And does it start from when they arrive or do they have to do something first?
Yeah, so there's two sections to enrolment. There's an online part of enrolment, which you can start pretty much as soon as you get your CAS. I think you'll get invited to start the enrolment process. So the sooner you can start that, the better. Then once you get here, you will need to come and do face-to-face enrolment, which is where you present all your documents to us. So you'll come and meet my team in the Chancellor's Building, which is right in the middle of campus. You'll bring your passport, you'll bring your academic documents. If you've collected your BRP from the post office, you'll also bring that. If not, we will give it to you. And at that point, we will just make sure we've got all your details right. We'll take a copy of your passport and your visa. And we will check where you're living in the UK so that we've got all your up-to-date contact details. And then we will give you your Keele card, which is your access to all the buildings on campus. It's your library card. And it also means you can get a student discount in the shops.
Lovely. Are there any conditions on the student's visa that they might wear, or any rules associated with sort of living and working in the UK?
Yeah, there are quite a lot of rules that you have to follow on a student visa. Number one is that you have to be engaging with your course and attending all your timetabled teaching events, lectures, seminars, exams, this kind of thing. Your attendance is monitored while you're a Keele student. But if you're attending everything, then you've got nothing to worry about. It will all be explained to you how you just check in online. We've got an app which you should definitely download as soon as possible, that you will check in when you're in the class, and then we can see that you've attended. You are allowed to work while you're a student if you need to earn a little bit of extra money to support yourself while you're here, but you are limited to 20 hours per week during term time. And there are certain limits on the kinds of work you can do as well. So you can't be, for example, self-employed or do freelance work. But we will talk to you about all these things when you arrive and make sure that you're clear on what you can and can't do. And again, if you've got any questions once you are here, you can come and find us. We have a drop-in every day, Monday to Friday, between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. So there's plenty of people around to help you with these kinds of questions once you're here. The other thing that you will need to know is that the UK is switching from physical visas to digital visas over the next few months. So you will be issued with a little plastic card when you arrive, but straight away you will have to be setting up an account to get what we're calling an e-visa. Again, we will help you with this. We're going to set up some workshops and make sure that everybody knows what they're doing. So it's absolutely nothing to worry about.
That's great. Thank you very much. So last sort of section from me. Obviously, the students have arrived, they've enrolled, all going well. Is there any advice for living in the UK that you can provide to?
Yeah, I would say definitely join some clubs and societies so you can meet people with similar interests to you. If you want to improve your English as well, this is a great informal way to improve your English because you'll be talking to people from the UK, but from lots of other countries as well. Take advantage of all the things that are available to you on campus. So like I said, we've got lots of academic support available. We've got English language support available. We've got members of staff who can help you with budgeting. The careers team can help you write a CV that is suitable for the UK job market. Talk to the placements team about adding a placement to your course. That is a huge benefit to students. Most students I know have taken a placement, have had great job opportunities afterwards. So that's something that we can help you with as well. I would say try and live as close to campus as you can, because this will just make your life a whole lot easier and cheaper in terms of how much you're paying for transport. We've got lots of on-campus accommodation, so check that out. If that's not your vibe, then we've got Stoke-on-Trent and Newcastle-under-Lyme that are both within about 20 minutes on the bus, public transport. So that's pretty reasonable, and that way you could perhaps live with other students, but in private accommodation. But try not to live too far away, because if you're in Manchester or Birmingham, it's going to take you an hour just to get to Stoke, and then you've got to get from Stoke to Keele. So it's just going to mean that your day is a lot longer, and it's going to take time away from, the things that you want to be doing, like spending time with your friends or studying, or even working at your part-time job. So that would be a good tip. Look in the local area for your accommodation and do some research on this before you arrive. Make sure you've got somewhere to stay on that first night when you first get here. Other tips and advice I would say is definitely talk to the university. We are here to help you. You're our students and we want to support you. So if you've got any worries, even if you think it's not necessarily relevant to maybe my role at the university or even about the university, still come and talk to us, because we will know somebody who can help you. You're not on your own at any point during your course. Yeah.
Excellent. And then just to round us off, what can students do if they need any help?
Yeah, there's lots of things you can do. So the main thing would be to drop us an email, which is visa@keele.ac.uk. There's also lots of information on our website. So if you're the kind of person who would just prefer to do a bit of research yourself, you can look on the website. You can give us a call as well, and our phone number is on the website, so you can find that there. Or there is a chat here on this webinar. So if you've got a quick question now that's quite generic, then you could ask it now and we'll try and answer it. But if it's a specific question to you, I'd say drop us an email. That would be the best way, so that we can have a look at your record and give you a specific response for your individual situation.
Excellent.
Once you're here, come and see me.
Absolutely. She is very lovely. It's a good idea. So that concludes the webinar section. Beth mentioned the chat under the webinar where you can put your questions. We'll go through the ones that we've got already. So we've had a couple of questions about students struggling with UKVI.
Oh, right, okay.
Rather than university. Is there anything that your team is able to do once it's gone past the CAS stage?
By that, I'm going to presume that they mean they're waiting a long time to get a response.
Yes.
So some students do get an email from UKVI to say that their application is complex, and therefore they can't respond within the advertised period of time. Unfortunately, there's nothing that Keele can do to speed this process up. We don't work for UKVI in any way, shape or form, so we can't influence them. But please keep in touch with us, because if it does cause a delay to your arrival, then we'll do all we can to support you and make sure that you don't miss out on all the important things that are happening in the first week or so. So yeah, I would just say keep in touch with us, and UKVI will be working on your case. If they contact you and ask you for more information, please do that as soon as possible. What I would say is keep checking your junk or spam folder in your email, because a lot of times their emails do go into those folders for some reason. Also, if you are sending information back to them, just check on the size of your files, because their inbox will only accept a limited file size, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it does say in their email footer the maximum size of your email that can go back to them. So just check all those kind of things if they are asking you for more information.
That's great, thank you. We don't actually have any more questions.
Hopefully that means we've done a good job of answering all your questions already.
Hopefully so. In which case, we will say thank you very much. We hope you found this useful. Recording of this webinar will remain on YouTube. So if you forget anything that we've talked about, you can always go back and have a look again. And as Beth's mentioned, her team is available via email for you to ask any more personal questions to, or any that you think of later on.
Yeah, and keep an eye on your inbox, because you will start getting emails about the welcome and induction events that you'll be invited to join once you're here.
That's lovely. Thank you very much, everybody. We hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.